Hello everyone. Let's learn about types of SSL certificates for SQL Server. We will also go through the requirements while generating these certificates. There are three types of certificates you can attach to SQL Server. First is self-signed certificate with fallback. This is self-generated certificate by SQL Server. SQL Server generates this kind of certificate when you do not attach any of custom self-signed or CA-signed certificate. This certificate is not accessible to backup, copy, and paste. You cannot find it even in MMC. This certificate is loaded to memory only. You can only see the properties of the certificate by running query against system database. Here, the third authentication certificate is self-generated certificate. As you can see, I did not attach any certificate to the server. Therefore, SQL Server is using this self-generated certificate. If you want to check whether we are using self-generated certificate, you can just run this query against error log. The second certificate is self-signed certificate generated by you, not SQL Server. You can also generate the certificate and attach it to SQL Server. Let's do it. You can use this New-SelfSigned Certificate PowerShell command to create self-signed certificate. The only property you should change here is FQDN of your server. Here, FQDN of my server is this one. I paste it here. And also you can choose the expiration date. Here I'm saying that this certificate will expire after 6 months from now. Let's run it. After you run this command, it will automatically import the certificate to MMC. Let's go to MMC. This is the certificate which we generated. Let's see the properties. Here you can see we cannot find any certificate authority name, only server name which generated this certificate. This means that this is self-signed certificate. Let's now attach it to SQL Server. For this, firstly, I give full permission to SQL Server account. Then I go to Configuration Manager and attach this certificate to SQL Server. Afterwards, I will just restart. Please kindly note that when you attach certificate to SQL Server will automatically omit its self-generated certificate and load your certificate for encryption. Okay, so you don't need to change anything. After the restart, we can check error log. Error log is saying certificate with some print has been this some print has been loaded, right? Let's go to MMC and see some print of our self-signed certificate. It is the same, right? So we successfully loaded our self-signed certificate to SQL Server, and now we can encrypt the connections. Last one is CA-signed certificate. This certificate cannot be generated by you, but by certificate authority. Every company has their own Windows or certificate team, as far as I know, who generates these certificates by contacting to certificate authority. Okay, so if you want to generate this certificate, contact your Windows or certificate team in your company. For this demo, I cannot get this kind of certificate. Therefore, I just generated self-signed certificate by myself. And please, just imagine this is CA-signed certificate, okay? You should just get certificate in PFX format like this with private key attached. Then we just go to MMC and import this certificate very much easily. After importing, you can just attach it to SQL Server in the same way as self-signed certificate. So I will not repeat the steps. Finally, let's learn requirements of SSL certificate. Firstly, the certificate must be either as a local computer certificate store or SQL Server account certificate store. Local computer certificate store is recommended by Microsoft. Second one is SQL Server service account must have the necessary permission to access TLS certificate. We already saw that, right? We gave permission to private keys. You can assign permission easily in MMC. So we saw it. The certificate should be valid and not expired. And the subject property should include FQDN of your server. The certificate must be created using KeySpec option of Add KeyExchange. Okay, and private key should be attached. Okay, so In the next session, we will check all these properties, attach certificate and enable encryption in SQL Server.